Technical violence personified. Jon Moxley took on Bryan Danielson in a hellacious, technical, violent masterpiece of wrestling. Mostly the violence, and I'm pretty sure Bryan at the end of this is going to be very horny. Because right before AEW Revolution happened, Bryan said that one of the big reasons he left WWE was so he can bleed. Bryan, your horniness never ceases to amaze me and sadly also disturb me. So anyways, Bryan goes ahead and admits he has a sexual charged persona, so as that goes on, Moxley is that guy that's like, if you want me to join you, I gotta bleed with them first and whatnot, and as you can tell, I'm tired. I hold the AEW gold around my shoulder, and I am watching Revolution, and I saw awesome personified in this match, and I demand an alliance of unholy abominational atrocities of wrestling violence. Okay. So Bryan and Moxley went to war. They went to war, and I know I shouldn't be saying war because of what's going on, and quite honestly, I'm just very tired. I'm probably not even being coherent. Considering how long Revolution was, it's midnight now. It just ended, so that should tell you how long the show was, especially if you watched the buy-in, aka Rampage 2.0. And watching the show from 7 to near midnight, 11:52 to be exact when it ended, you're gonna be tired. And I haven't taken my sleeping medicine yet. So, yeah, it wore me out because how awesome it was. We'll talk about certain matches soon, but I wanted to talk about this one because of the fact that we got a technical, violent personification match. And we got this awesome Batman-esque poster of Jon and Moxley as the bad man. Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson. You enough of the wrath of Jon Moxley's violent energy, and Bryan with his mastery of raw sexual energy. I know I'm bringing up a whole bunch of innuendos. It's Bryan. He's made this too funny. So yeah, Bryan and Moxley bled, so I'm pretty sure Bryan was horny after that. And now Jon Moxley has to go ahead and unleash unscripted violence on him to counteract the raw sexual energy Bryan was doing without feeling charge him up, and go all personified wrestling on him. Buckets and buckets of blood. So this poster is definitely fitting it. This poster here, this is definitely fitting it. But yeah, it's quite honestly a fun match. I think the problem that CM Punk and MJF burned the audience out for wrestling nearly 30 minutes in a dog collar match. If this happened earlier, I kept thinking it was going to open the show. They didn't. Okay, I kind of disappointed on that. But still, if this opened the show, it would have been heralded as one of the best openings to a match in a long time since, I gotta be real, I think Daniel Bryan versus Triple H all those years ago for a big pay-per-view opener match that was main event caliber. So that should tell you where Daniel Bryan and Bryan Danielson are fit in this narrative. Oh man, Bryan and Mox just were tearing the house down. And there was a moment in this match that made me sad. I predicted on ATW View this week that Moxley was going to lose, and eventually they'll do a breakup angle with Jon Moxley and Bryan when they do the faction, and it leads into a match between the two, probably for a TNT title match, and Moxley finally gets his victory over Bryan, which would have actually been a better idea in my mind. And I could be wrong, but considering what happens after this is interesting. So Moxley surprised everyone by beating Bryan out while he was choking him. So I'm pretty certain there's something here to be said about both of them lusting over weird stuff. Especially, in fact, now that I think about it, this build should have also brought up how Bryan sexualized his book. Like a lot. Bryan, are you Dr. Hojo from Final Fantasy Machina Bridge? Remember that from Team 4-Star? Anyways, as we continue digesting this whole Bryan has a fetish issue in AEW, and this was possibly the biggest reason why he went to AEW, was so he could proudly showcase his fetishes to the world, since WWE would never allow him to. For various reasons. But, yeah. After that, Bryan is pissed. Naturally, he felt like that was stupid, and a lot of people in the timeline were a little confused by it and felt like they should keep going. And Bryan and Moxley were like, fuck it, let's fight. Fight! They're kicking and punching. The refs are trying to restore order. Security's trying to restore order, only to get their asses kicked, and they start brawling. And then out comes from the crowd, out comes from the fans, out comes from the stage of AEW is none other than William, by God, frickin' Regal. He comes out, he's all pissed off, he's getting in their faces, trying to restrain them. Moxley's trying to get his hands on Bryan Danielson, and Bryan's trying to go ahead and gesture him to come over here and keep beating his chest bloody, because that also turns him on, it seems. And he publicly admitted that, so even Brie asked him if she should do that in bed, and Bryan said, no, I don't want to do that, even though I'm now concerned about Brie's chances. I'm really concerned. Yeah, I know I'm going TVMA on this, but it's Bryan. He's made this too easy. So, yeah. William Regal. Okay, so remember how NXT William Regal has been described as one of the best general managers? Though, sometimes he kind of was a pushover. Like, let's be real, he was kind of pushed around, got beaten up at times. Heck, I was convinced that they were all going to always build to a match with William Regal taking on Kevin Owens or Adam Cole, mostly Kevin Owens. But they never do it, even though I don't know if William Regal could still go. Yeah, I don't know, honestly. He did some matches in NXT after the rebranding. But I did like how they connected how they reconnected not only the NXT continuity, the old WWE continuity, the Independent Days continuity, and even FCW continuity, because how William Regal is connected to these two. William Regal and Bryan Danielson, they go a long way back. Moxley and William Regal, they were the final match for FCW before the NXT rebranding reboot, when Triple H took over, so props. So after William Regal calms them both the hell down, he decides to be the angry father who tells his children to knock it the hell off and slaps them silly, and then goes ahead and headbutts Moxley, getting blood all over his face. He said Bryan's probably thinking to himself, it should be me. That should be me! Bryan's all jovial, like, oh, William Regal's gonna take my side. He clearly loves me. Get in here, oh! And Bryan feels like he was the son that felt broken from that. And then William Regal orders the both to basically kiss and make up without any of that, because Bryan's not a romantic type and neither is Jon Moxley. unless violence is involved. So they shake it out to cement what could be the deadly alliance of technical violence personified. And it seems William Regal is involved with this. Tony Khan then comes out and says William Regal is all elite, baby! So props to that. So now, I can honestly say this. At this point, WWE Triple H has to be pissed. His brand is dead. He can't go anywhere else. Vince has publicly disgraced him on Pat McAfee's show, saying, I expected more from my children. So that should tell you how Vince feels. And now all his children, essentially, have moved to the other show, effectively turning NXT from being the black and gold developmental brand of WWE's future into AEW's guarantee. And the rest of the independents in Japan. And Ring of Honor, the company they sold, they tried to buy out a few years back and were shocked that AEW bought them. Now they're going to be the developmental that NXT could have been for black and gold before the reboot. So, kind of cool when you think about it, and depressing at the same time, and fitted irony. I love this. I love it. Okay, so the match between the two horniest wrestlers in the world currently, I mean, like the ones who are not horribly canceled. So there. So anyways, the two horniest wrestlers look like they're going to form an alliance with their daddy, aka William Regal, who's going to kick their ass if they don't behave and keep their energies in check. As such, I like to decree this group as Technical Violence Personified, TVP. I'm sure there's something that can be said about that, but anyways. I'm looking forward to it. I'm hoping that this is the cementing of an alliance, a new tag team, a new bloody faction of supremacy. And Bryan makes more odd innuendos like, "Fist me!" like he did on SmackDown all those years ago, where the wrestlers spat out their drinks and started laughing. I'm kind of amazed. I wouldn't be surprised if kids were looking at that and it's like, Daddy, what does fisting mean? So, Bryan Danielson, everybody, are awakening things in children that were never seen before. Yeah, like I said, Bryan has made this incredibly easy since the tree scandal, so there. Bryan, in my opinion, is a very horny wrestler. Probably the most horniest, next to Jon Moxley. So actually this alliance makes more sense when you think about that as well, besides building the future in technical violence. Woo! Let's see what goes down between the two heading into Dynamite this week after Revolution. See how that all goes. But we'll see from then, and we'll see the reaction they both do, because by God, they gotta do something from this, especially since William Regal is now signed to AEW. Knowledge. The banking of knowledge and pool he has in him will benefit the talent of the future. You have done well. So, yeah. Fun times are ahead of us. Let's hope Technical Wrestling Personified, Technical Violence Personified goes ahead and becomes a thing. And I should definitely make a catchphrase, since I had passion and brutality with Thunder Rosa and Britt Baker from years prior, and now Technical Violence Personified for this. So let's see what happens from there. Let's see which falls from the trees from there. So, anyways, this was Neo Reality Entertainment, the WrestleVerse, presenting Jon Moxley versus Bryan Danielson in the Battle of the Horny Bad Men. See, Bryan has made this so easy to do. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, check out my other content in the description below. Stay tuned for more. Stay tuned for more AEW content as well as Revolution starts to get out of our systems and we start to lax down, and then I bring you back all in with this. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, check out my other content, and stay tuned for more, and I'll see y'all next time. Take care, and have a good day.